So the operation day is always a strange day, isn't it, really?
Yeah.
It's always very last minute whether it actually goes ahead. So normally you do have to phone ahead to check that there's a bed, and even once you're in the hospital, if there's an emergency comes in and your PICU bed is taken, then your operation can be cancelled. So it's a strange one. There's almost an element of relief when you're told that it is going ahead, because the emotional impact of getting to that point is huge. So to have the disappointment of it being cancelled, it is emotionally very tough. But walking out of that room and leaving your child in the hands of those amazing people is incredibly tough, isn't it? And
then you have a long wait, don't you?
And it is the longest day. Every minute feels like an hour, every hour feels like a day. But you have to try and fill that time. And I mean, Calum's last operation, we were told to expect it to be 8 hours. So that is a long day. We always say to people to make sure you eat and drink, because you need to stay strong as well.
You need to get out of the hospital
Get out of the hospital.
Get some fresh air and walk, isn't it? You know you need to go back because it's nearing the time when he's going to come out of the theatre.
Waiting for a call, aren't you? And unfortunately, Calum's last operation went on for
longer than we thought.
Nearly 12 hours. So it's just a horrible long wait. Your child's managed to walk down to theatre and go to sleep, but now they're lying in intensive care connected to numerous drugs and machines is really hard.
I'd highly recommend anyone who's facing the surgery to, before the surgery happens, is to go and have a tour of the intensive care unit, because that's where your child will be taken to after the surgery. And it's a very strange environment. You expect it to be quite fast paced with lots of sounds and beeps going everywhere. But it's an incredibly calm environment, isn't it? And that's where you go in with the nurse and to sit with them by the bedside. So there's one nurse to every child, but it's still a shock when you go in and see your child laid out there. Obviously, they're still on the ventilator, aren't they? So they can't speak. They've got a lot of drugs in them, so they're not really coherent.
And the hospital staff will tell you that they will have a breathing tube and they will have the drains, but I still think actually seeing your child like that is a big shock. And I mean, obviously, for us, we've seen Calum like that a few times now, but it's still incredibly tough.
And you have these monitors by the bedside, and you're transfixed at looking at the monitors, looking at his heart rate, aren't you?
Very much when he was a baby, then those monitors were a real worry, and you were very fixated on them. Now we have learned that actually, if he's looking okay, then he's probably okay. So that focusing on him is probably more important.
Definitely.